John Rappaport sitting in for Alex in the fourth hour here. Welcome. Good to be here as always. I've got to start by talking about Climate Hustle here, which David was talking about in the last hour with Mark Morano of Climate Depot. Climate Hustle is the film. Infowarsstore.com is where you can get it. Here's the story, folks. Look, the whole climate agenda predicates on this idea that based on fake science, which is revealed in Climate Hustle, presidents, leaders, monarchs, oligarchs, you name it, elites around the world can say to their people and can rule on this that we are going to cut energy production in our country. Figures have been touted for the US at 20 to 30% cut in the next 10 to 15 years. Because you see, we're bringing online solar and wind and this and that and, all of that kind of malarkey to replace the CO2 emitting energy that we are now using. But we have to cut energy production, period, 20 to 30%, right? So this is what's behind this whole agenda. Well, what does that mean? Can you figure out what that means? If you were the king and you said, my people, we are going to cut energy production throughout the whole land by 20 to 30%. Well, that means you're going to torpedo the economy. Let's wake up to that. Let's get it straight, please, once and for all. You're going to put more and more people into pain, suffering, and poverty. And the people who are already there are going to be feeling it even worse. But everybody is going to be affected significantly. That's the agenda. That's what we're talking about. Fake science leading to diminishment of energy production by a whole lot all over the world. And this is supposed to save the planet, of course, from frying and so forth, because we'll have less CO2. So this sham of science has a reason. It's not just an academic piece of fraud. This is what we're talking about here. Because globalism, elite globalism, is in the business of torpedoing economies. That's what they do. That's what they want. They don't want to create jobs. Because in the midst of the chaos and the desecration and the destitution created by the lowering of energy production, then the elite can say, well, my goodness gracious, we have a horrible crisis here and we need to do something. And here's the plan that will save us all. And of course, in order to put this plan into effect, we have to have representatives from every nation on earth who represent the best interests of the people to put the plan into action. And then it turns out, of course, that these representatives are not representatives at all. They are Trilateral Commission members, Council on Foreign Relations members, all of the globalist organizations, Bilderberg, you name it. And they become the global management system that is the new world order, and sovereign nations cease to exist because it's a planetary crisis, the loss of energy. Where did that come from? It came from the same people who are now presenting the plan to rescue everybody. Let's get it straight, please, 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 please. Climate Hustle will show you a great deal of what has been happening here, including fake science. Infowarsstore.com. Mark Morano, climatedepot.com. Thank you, Mark. Okay, Trump's press conference yesterday. He says to CNN reporter, CNN is fake news. He says there are a few other fake news outlets sitting here today, too. This is the next president of the United States. I've been a reporter now for 34 years. Never seen anything like this. Never, ever. I implore you to understand the magnitude of what happened there, the extreme magnitude of what happened yesterday at the press conference. A president-elect going to war with the major media, which has been traditionally the eyes, ears, nose, mouth, everything of society, presenting fake news endlessly, confusing everybody, putting everybody to sleep, covering up and omitting the true, deep political events of our time. If we're going to have a revolution, and we're in the middle of one right now, then the first order of business is overtaking and overthrowing fake news, by which I mean major media. That's the first order of business, and that is happening. And now we had yesterday a president elect, I don't care what you think of him, getting up and saying directly to these news guys, you're fake. And in case you didn't understand what I was saying, you're fake. And if you need any further clarification on that, you're fake. You are fake. I mean, you can't overstate the significance of that event, no matter how much you try. And I'll tell you something else too. And this goes to the point of what some of you think of Trump and others think of Trump and so on and so forth. This guy broke into the scene like some kind of a swaggering cowboy walking into the saloon in a Western B movie. Steps up to the bar and says, "Give me a double whiskey," looks around and says, "Man, this is a foul place. Who are these people that are inhabiting it?" And everybody looks at him. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? How did he break in? What is he talking about? How dare he say these things about our sacred hearth and home, the saloon, where all the news really happens in town? So my contention is, and it's correct, that some people would have preferred to have another candidate, quote, destroy major media. Oh, well, we would have liked it if somebody had, been more polite and been more cute and been more measured and so forth and so rational and so. No, 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 no. That wasn't going to work. People have tried that. As David pointed out, Reagan tried that, didn't work. Ron Paul tried that, didn't work. Ross Perot made a few dents, didn't work though. Trump made it work exactly because of his persona and his personality and his character. So I don't care what you think of him. He broke through a revolution that was already in progress, which is overthrowing major media, and he gave it the kind of boost that you can only do with rocket fuel, and you can only do with that kind of personality that just doesn't care, that's completely reckless, that can dismiss a mainstream reporter with a look, who can say, you know what? You're an idiot. You're a complete idiot. And your news outlet is failing completely. And it works. My, that's inappropriate. And we don't like that, Mr. Trump. And you should talk. I don't care what you think. You're an idiot. You're wrong. Most of the time, you're wrong. And that's why your news outlet is going down the toilet. And all of a sudden, this has legs. This works. People are waking up and saying, well, that's what I thought. Millions of people are saying, well, I've been thinking that for years. I mean, can't we get these idiots off the air and stop reading these crazy newspapers like the New York Times and the Washington Post? Please, can we do it? And Trump is basically saying, yeah, of course we can do it. Of course we can do it. Of course we can do it. And so they're trying to defame him and destroy him in every way possible with as many fake stories as they can put together. But basically, what the media are saying is, we're fine. We've always been fine. There's nothing wrong with us. We always tell the truth. This guy is the problem. This guy is the guy who's pretending to be president, who's illegitimate, and we are going to do everything we can to delegitimize him to take the attention off of us. He's a fake president. He isn't real. He's a delusion. Everybody's dreaming. This didn't happen. This election never took place. We, your news media friends, are fine and upstanding and resolute and truthful and honest as we've always been. He is the faker. And it's not working. Hasn't worked for the last year. And it's getting worse for them. Getting absolutely worse for them. Trump is like the guy, to use another metaphor, you're on a football team, let's say in college. Team is not doing very well. Scholarships, everybody's on scholarship, but it's not happening. And then all of a sudden one day, this guy swaggers onto the field and says, I'm the greatest football player that ever lived. And everybody starts laughing at him, come on, and so forth and so on. He said, let me show you. So he takes the ball and he runs through 15 tacklers and destroys them. That's what's happening. I'll have more after the break here. But this is what's happening with Donald Trump, and I'll detail it for you. This is John Rappaport. Stay tuned. Don't go away. InfoWars.
InfoWars has more than 15 YouTube channels and about 3 million subscribers. Our main channel has 1.854 or 1,854,000 plus subscribers. Now, they've been gaming the system for a long time to shut down nationalistic or patriotic media, saying we're right-wingers, saying we're extremists. Well, it doesn't matter who we are. We have a right to free speech, don't we? As long as we don't violate the rules. Well, now Zuckerberg has come out and said he's going to restrict conservative news like Communist China does, calling it fake news. And Google, that owns YouTube, has announced, and they've done it now 2 weeks ago, that they're going to basically make you click the bell in your notifications. We're going to show you how to do that, or you won't get all the channels that you've subscribed to, and you won't get the videos. Now, why are they doing this? It's more than just censoring. They want you to see the videos that they feed you below and beside the videos you're looking at that are corporately sponsored so they make more money. They're taking the you out of YouTube. So we're in this information war, and it's more important than ever that you promote the videos, that you like the videos, and that you send them on to others. Because the answer to the attempt to shut us down and restrict free speech that's openly now happening is for us to redouble our efforts. We're winning the culture war as true classical liberals that made this country great. We're restoring the Renaissance. So again, if you want to get our videos, so you can make your decision whether you want to see them or not. After all, that's why you subscribed. YouTube's had this since they started 12 years ago or whatever it was. And they're fundamentally changing it so you don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is promoting fake news and trash news and establishment news. It's killing real independent news. But we, the people, by taking action, can break the back of the system. So please click on the bell so you get the notifications and so you get in your feed the videos and channels you've subscribed to. I'm Alex Jones for Infowars.com.
John Rappaport sitting in for Alex in the fourth hour here. Welcome. Good to be here as always. I've got to start by talking about Climate Hustle here, which David was talking about in the last hour with Mark Morano of Climate Depot. Climate Hustle is the film. Infowarsstore.com is where you can get it. Here's the story, folks. Look, the whole climate agenda predicates on this idea that based on fake science, which is revealed in Climate Hustle, presidents, leaders, monarchs, oligarchs, you name it, elites around the world can say to their people and can rule on this, that we are going to cut energy production in our country. Figures have been touted for the U.S. at 20 to 30% cut in the next 10 to 15 years. Because you see, we're bringing online solar and wind and this and that and, all of that kind of malarkey to replace the CO2 emitting energy that we are now using. But we have to cut energy production, period, 20 to 30%, right? So this is what's behind this whole agenda. Well, what does that mean? Can you figure out what that means? If you were the king, and you said, my people, we are going to cut energy production throughout the whole land by 20 to 30%. Well, that means you're going to torpedo the economy. Let's wake up to that. Let's get it straight, please, once and for all. You're going to put more and more people into pain